Still stuck in Legend while your friends are chilling in Mythic? Overwhelmed by all the hero options and can't figure out which one to pick? Well, don't worry, you have problems and I've got the solutions. Hi guys, Kazuki here, and in this video we are going to look at the top 15 heroes to rank up to reach Mythic in no time. Let me explain how I picked the heroes for this video so you can understand the logic behind my choices. The current statistics, I analyzed recent win rates, pick rates and overall performance. With buffs, nerfs and item reworks, certain heroes have climbed up the tier list. How well they fare against others in their roles and lanes. Some heroes dominate their lanes and others excel in multiple roles, giving them flexibility in team compositions. Let's kick things off with the hero I consider nearly flawless in the current meta, Julian. Julian is amazing. He's a perfect hero in every possible way. The craziest thing about him, he doesn't have a real counter. His skill set allows him to deal insane amount of damage while maintaining incredible mobility. Julian's hybrid nature lets him be an assassin, mage, and even somewhat of a fighter, making him incredibly hard to predict and play against. The flexibility allows Julian to fill multiple roles, whether it's burst damage, crowd control, or sustain DPS. With his recent buffs, Julian's already impressive kit got even stronger. His skill rotation can change seamlessly, and when you execute it properly, you can one-shot squishy heroes without giving them a chance to react. The beauty of Julian is that you can keep pressuring your opponent without worrying much about cooldowns because of his passive. Whether you are dominating mid lane or jungling, Julian feels like a juggernaut. The only downside might be his high skill ceiling. It takes time to master his combos. But once you do, there's almost no stopping him. He can outduel assassins, burst down mages, and even go toe-to-toe with fighters. In current meta, Julian is borderline unstoppable, and you are going to have a hard time finding someone who can handle him well. Here are the recommended builds and emblems for Julian. Next we have Ruby, who currently holds the 13th highest win rate. Ruby is one of those heroes who can thrive in almost any lane, but she is especially strong in the gold lane. Her lifesteal is insane and it keeps her sustained in fights, making her a pain to deal with in team fights. Ruby's crowd control is some of the best in the game, with her ability to chain stuns and knockups, effectively locking down multiple enemies at once. What makes Ruby so scary right now is that she can be built tanky while still dealing a decent amount of damage, whether you build her with more durability or as an off-tank with damaged items. She will always have a huge impact in fights. Her abilities don't just disrupt the enemy team, they also heal her up, which allows her to stay longer in battles, forcing enemies to deal with her first. In the current meta, where a lot of fights are decided by who can engage and disengage effectively, Ruby stands out. Her mobility and CC make her perfect for peeling off assassins or diving into the backline to lock down squishies. She's also incredibly forgiving to play thanks to her sustain. Even if you make a mistake, you can easily recover in most situations. Check out the optimal builds and emblems for Ruby. Ben has climbed up to become the 4th highest win rate hero, and it's easy to see why. He's one of the best late game insurance policies you can have on your team. If you have ever been in a late game situation where the enemy just keeps pushing your towers, Ben is your savior. His ultimate deals insane damage, and with his recent buffs, his burst potential is off the chart. But here's the thing, Ben isn't just good in the late game, he's also a strong jungler who can snowball early with his fast clear times and strong jungling potential. His second skill allows him to deal massive area damage, making him a great pick for jungle skirmishes and objectives like Turtle and Lord. In the current meta, where games can be decided by one team fight, having a Ben on your team can turn things around in an instant. Discover the best builds and emblems for Ben. Kacha, versatile tank that can also deal damage. Coming in at the 8th highest win rate, Kacha is a jack of all trades. He can tank, deal damage, and even dive into the backline to disrupt the enemy team. What makes Kacha stand out in this meta is his ability to deal a surprising amount of damage for a tank. His ultimate is one of the best initiation tools in the game, capable of turning a losing fight into a winning one. What's even better is that Kacha's passive allows him to deal damage based on his maximum HP and the damage he takes. This means you can build him as a full tank and he'll still be a threat to squishies. Plus, his ability to sustain and mitigate damage means he can stay in fight much longer than most other tanks. If you are looking for a hero who can be both a front line and a source of damage, Kacha is your guy. He is the ideal build for Kacha. Mosco is currently dominating the marksman meta, and it's no long surprise. He's a versatile, fast, and most importantly, he's a beast in the late game. What makes Mosco so good right now is his insane attack speed and his piercing basic attacks, which allows him to hit multiple enemies at once. This makes him deadly in team fights, especially in the late game when he is fully built. Its passive is what really sets him apart from other marksmen. The ability to hit enemies behind his target means he can shred entire teams when positioned well. Combine this with his high attack speed and Mosco can dish out ridiculous amount of damage in just a few seconds. His mobility, thanks to his first skill, also gives him the ability to reposition quickly, making him harder to catch and kill. His ultimate, Spear of Destruction, is not only great for finishing off low health enemies across the map, but it's also useful to securing objectives like Lord and Turtle from afar. Explore the suggested builds and emblems for Mosco. Zask has earned the title of the most annoying mage in Mobile Legends, and if you have faced him, you will understand why. His ability to zone out enemies with his ultimate makes him a menace to deal with in any lane. What sets Zask apart in his capability to create a second hero on the battlefield. The Nightmaric spawn does significant damage and can tank hits, making it difficult for enemies to engage without taking heavy damage first. Zask is also notorious for being incredibly frustrating to push against. His turrets and spawning can hold a lane by themselves, and his crowd control can lock down anyone who tries to dive him. In the current meta where positioning and zoning are crucial, Zask excels. His ultimate, which enhances his spawn abilities, can single-handedly win team fights if used properly. Take a look at the recommended builds and emblems for Zask. Terisa is one of the most solid fighters in the game right now, and he shines in the EXP lane. He is hard to kill, deals heavy burst damage, and has a lot of crowd control in his kit. His passive lets him take less damage as his health drops, making him incredibly tanky, even when he is low on HP. This passive gives him the ability to turn fights that would otherwise be lost for other heroes. Terisa's second skill deals massive AoE damage and has a low cooldown, which makes him great for clearing waves and poking enemies in the lane. His ultimate is a huge AoE stun that can turn the tide of a team fight. If you can land it on multiple enemies, you can set up your team for a devastating combo. In the current meta, where sustain and tankiness are highly valued, Terisa is an excellent pick. Here's the top builds and emblems for Terisa. Saber is a classic choice for hunting down squishy heroes. His ultimate is almost guaranteed to delete any mage or marksman in the game. His ability to lock down a target and burst them down quickly is perfect for the current meta, where assassins are running rampant. With the right item, Saber can become a serious threat to the enemy backline. His straightforward combo makes him easy to use, and he's perfect for players who want to rack up kills quickly. Harley, on the other hand, offers a more strategic playstyle. His magic damage, burst and mobility makes him difficult to catch, and his ultimate, deadly magic, can whittle down enemies, forcing them to retreat or die. Harley excels at roaming and finding isolated targets, making him a nightmare for squishy heroes. In solo queue, where coordination isn't always the best, Harley can quickly punish any mispositioned enemy. Both heroes are ideal for players who enjoy the assassin playstyle but want to counter other assassins in the process. Their high mobility and burst damage allows them to snowball hard if played correctly. Check out the best builds and emblems for both Saber and Harley. Nolan is back in the meta, and he has made it to the list. Nolan has become a popular pick right now. He is good for going in and out, thanks to his dashes. He is hard to catch and can deal a lot of damage if you are able to land your rifts right. He has now good burst potential, but just know that he is weak to CC and will die very fast if you are caught off guard. So always have an escape plan whenever you are trying to run away. Here are the suggested builds and emblems for Nolan. Hylos is a tank that almost impossible to take down right now. His sheer durability combined with his crowd control abilities makes him a top tier pick in both ranked and competitive play. His ultimate provides his team with speed and sustainability, perfect for initiating fights or retreating when things get dicey. What makes Hylos so strong is his ability to soak up tons of damage while also dishing out decent magic damage. His first skill stuns and slows enemies, making him a great frontline in any composition. Hylos is excellent for disrupting enemy formations and controlling the battlefield, and in the current meta, he is just too good to ignore. Find the recommended builds and emblems for Hylos. Changi is a mage that can deal insane damage from a safe distance. Her ultimate can shred through enemy teams, towers and objectives with ease. What makes her stand out is her ability to poke from afar and clear waves, making her a great option for both mid and side lanes. Changi's versatility allows her to play different roles, whether it's dealing damage or pushing lanes. Her range is her biggest asset, and in the meta, where positioning is crucial, Changi can harass enemies without putting herself in danger. She is perfect for those who like to play it safe while still dishing out heavy damage. Here's the suggested builds and emblems for Changi. Phoveus is one of the hardest heroes to kill in the game, especially with all the mobility in the current meta. His passive and ultimate allows him to constantly punish dashes, making him a nightmare for assassins and marksmen. Every time an enemy hero uses a blink or dash, Phoveus can leap in and deal damage, making him a perfect counter to mobile heroes. In tournaments, Phoveus shines because of his tankiness and ability to disrupt enemy plays. His sustainability combined with his mobility counters makes him a very safe pick. If you are tired of being bullied by high mobility heroes, Phoveus is your answer. Discover the best builds and emblems for Phoveus. Suyu, the latest hero in the game, has become a menace to society. He can deal so many types of damage and has so many escape skills that he is right now maybe the perfect assassin in the game. His tap first skill is so good, he not only is dashing, He also is invulnerable while doing so. He also has a great finishing off skill, which is his hold skill 3. And his hold skill 2 is just a great skill for jungling and dealing damage. Just learn his combo from this video and be unstoppable. Here are the suggested builds and emblems. Edith is hands down the most versatile hero in Mobile Legends right now. She can be played as a tank or damage dealer, and her kit offers both defense and offense. In her tank form, she can soak up damage, and once she transforms, she can unleash a flurry of attacks that deal significant damage. What makes Edith so unique is a dual role ability. She can engage, absorb damage, and then transform to burst down enemies. Her flexibility in both tanking and dealing with damage makes her an invaluable asset in teamfights. If you want a hero who can adapt to any situation, Edith is the one. Take a look at the optimal builds and emblems for Edith. So guys, what do you think? Which hero do you think I missed out on? Which hero do you wanna personally add? So that will be all for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Keep supporting Kazuki Official.